However, somebody who might be available, Lyle, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, a free agent pitcher from Japan, 25 years old. His team just finished up the Oryx Buffaloes, right? That's what he played for.
Yep.
Just finished up the Japan Series, the NPB's version of the World Series. He had a masterful performance in Game 6 where he went a complete game and set a Japan Series record with 14 strikeouts, a 138-pitch complete game. Yamamoto, you won't have to worry about throwing that many pitches in Major League Baseball. Congratulations. You got that all out of the tank there. But he is a free agent. He is going to get posted here probably this week. I don't think he's officially posted yet. The team announced they will post him, but he has not officially been posted. And once he is posted, teams in America will have 45 days to sign him. Lyle, do the Mariners have a chance?
Oh, of course. You think John Stanton's not going to give Yamamoto $200 million? I mean, just lock it in. No, I don't think they have much of a chance. It's a nice idea to dream on, and if it actually happened, would we jump for joy? Yeah. This dude has a chance to be an ace in the big leagues. Do I think this is where the Mariners are going to invest their resources? Probably not. I will say it's interesting that there were some reports last year that the Mariners were pretty tuned in on Kodai Senga and had some interest in him, so maybe there's some interest in Yamamoto. Do I think that's where Yamamoto wants to play? Not really. He has openly talked about he wants to be in a big market. So what does that mean? The Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Cubs, maybe somewhere else. Seattle's not a big market. So for a lot of different reasons, the odds feel low. Again, I'd be thrilled beyond belief if it somehow happened, but I doubt it.
Yeah, this feels like a Red Sox or Yankees scenario. Or Dodgers or Cubs. All teams that need starting pitching and all teams with enormous markets, significantly bigger budgets for starting pitchers. So, like, we talk all this about Blake Snell, and you and I are all on board to sign Blake Snell. Well, you can get a Blake Snell quality pitcher in Yamamoto, unproven in Major League Baseball, but the stuff really, it looks like it'll work in the big leagues. He's also 5 years younger than Blake Snell, so you can be comfortable signing him to an 8-year deal at least. I think the projections are 8 years, about $200 million for Yamamoto. So there's just so much more upside for some of these teams to lock in a longer-term ace of the future with who's going into the prime of his career right now, instead of Blake Snell, who was going to be pitching into his 30s and could see his stuff tick down as the years go along.
The difference is Blake Snell openly wants to be in Seattle. Yamamoto wants to be in a big market. So I think the reason we talk about Blake Snell so much is, like we've said, how often do free agents ever want to come to Seattle? It's rare. So when somebody actively wants to be in Seattle, go sign them, and then you can trade some young arms for a bat. Where with Yamamoto, it's going to take a lot more willpower and a lot more effort, probably, because I don't think he has his sights set on Seattle.
Yeah. Just for reference, the most Japanese players ever signed for coming over was Masahiro Tanaka. When he was 25 back in 2014, he signed 7 for $155 with the Yankees. Yamamoto is going to get significantly more than that. I mean, even if you just adjust that contract for Tanaka for inflation, that's probably more like 7 for $200 at least now, right? That's probably decent math. It'd probably be about 7 for $200 from the Yankees. And that is certainly within the budget of all of these teams that would sign. I mean, the Yankees have signed in back-to-back off seasons, or in the last 3 off seasons. I forget what season did Garrett Cole sign? No, Garrett Cole is 2020, right?
He signed after 2019. So
right.
Yeah.
So in the last 3 seasons for the Yankees, essentially, they have paid a top-of-the-line starting pitcher. It was Rodon this past offseason and Garrett Cole in the 2019-2020 offseason. It wouldn't be a shock if they do it again. They know they can get guys to Yankee Stadium to go play for them, and they certainly have the budget for it, and they'll add it. But such a good profile here, Lyle, besides the fact he's 5'10", 176 pounds, again, just 25 years old. His fastball's in the mid-90s. He also throws a splitter as well, curveball, cutter, sweeper. Very easy delivery. If you want to go learn a little bit more about him, Aram Layton, who we've had here on this podcast and is one of the hosts of the Just Baseball show, part of this network, He wrote an excellent breakdown of Yamamoto on justbaseball.com, which I think you and I both have referenced in our prep, but a lot of detail on all 5 of his pitches. And he's really got a lot to offer. He throws a lot of strikes, doesn't walk a whole lot of batters as well. Not the biggest strikeout artist in the world, but that could, of course, tick up when he comes over here to America in a more strikeout-heavy league.
So he has 3+ pitches. Fastball, splitter, curveball are all expected to be plus offerings. So we'll see what kind of how he adjusts and operates with his pitch mix once he gets over here. But even getting past his actual arsenal of pitches and the low effort delivery, which is usually a good sign. I mean, the resume he put up in Japan is just nuts. Think about what an 18-year-old putting up a 2.35 ERA in AAA would look like these days. You never see that anymore, ever. Like Felix was in AAA at a super young age, but that's so rare. Well, in Japan, which is essentially AAA competition, at 18 years old, Yamamoto put up a 2.35 ERA. For his career in Japan, 1.72. Yeah, you heard that right. His career ERA in the NPB was 1.72 over 6 years. And what awards did he rack up? He made 5 All-Star teams. He threw 4 no-hitters. He won 3 Japanese Triple Crowns on the mound. He won 2 Sawamura Awards, which is Japan's version of the Cy Young. And he won 2 MVPs. Yeah, that's what he did in 6 years in Japan, barely being 25 years old. Like, pretty nuts.
And scouts grade him as a full, I would say, pitching grade above of Kodai Senga, who came over last year for the Mets. And Kodai Senga came over and had a very, very good rookie season with the Mets. But this guy is more decorated, higher upside, 5 years younger than Kodai Senga, who came over and was excellent with the Mets. Speaking of a fit, I think the Mets would also be a fit. We know Uncle Stevie has zero problem pumping up the payroll, and even in a rebuilding year, this would be a fantastic addition for the Mets to go after him and add him to that rotation.
So we're seeing why Japan won the World Baseball Classic, right? Their rotation of 3 during that tournament was Shohei, Yamamoto, and oh, by the way, maybe this is a lukewarm take, but arguably the best pitcher on that team was neither of those guys in Roki Sasaki. So those were your 3 guys in that tournament. Yeah, that's you can see why they won it all. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah, and Roki Sasaki's got some decisions to make. He could come over early if he wants. Like, I think he is right now classified as the best pitching prospect in all of baseball, right? Even though he's still playing in Japan, I think scouts and executives say he is the best prospect they have. He can wait until he's 25 to come over and go out on the open market, where he would probably fetch arguably more than Yamamoto fetched. You could argue with the kind of stuff he has, or he could come over early like Shohei and get paid international signing pool money like Shohei did. He's got some decisions ahead of him,
which would be a lot less. And then, for a couple of years until he got to arbitration, he'd make league minimum. But yeah, if he wants to get to the big leagues early, that might be what he decides. And this dude, Roki Sasaki's 21. And he is just unreal. Again, will he be a better player than Shohei? No, of course not, because Shohei's also a top 5 hitter in the world, along with being a top 5 to 7 pitcher in the world. But if you were just talking about pure pitcher, like put the 2 up against one another, I think you can make an argument for Roki Sasaki, which is insane to say when we're talking about comparing somebody to Shohei on the mound. But you look at what Roki Sasaki's done in Japan at such a young age, what Shohei was doing in Japan on the mound at that time didn't hold a candle to Sasaki. I mean, this dude, like you said, he's probably the best pitching prospect in all of baseball, period, right now. And when he gets over here, imagine the money Yamamoto's about to get. I think it's going to be, if he waits till he's 25, significantly more than that.
Let's find some optimism for how the Mariners can sign him. Let me start.
This is Yamamoto now, right?
No, actually, no, I went back to Yamamoto. You're right. Okay. So let's find some optimism for how Yamamoto can sign with the Mariners. Okay. Will Yusei Kikuchi say some good things on the Mariners' behalf?
I doubt it.
I don't think so either.
Well, considering he didn't have a lot of success here, they didn't win much here when he was here. The fact they yanked him out of the rotation the final week of 2021, I don't think that left a good taste in his mouth. I think you might have to ask Ichiro for some good words if you're Yamamoto. I think you might have to ask for, I don't know, if there's players around the league that have good things to say about the Mariners that Yamamoto already knows, maybe them. But
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a long list.
Well, maybe you're going to have to talk to Ichiro and hope he can sales pitch Yamamoto a little bit here, and otherwise be open to signing in Seattle. That's the other thing, because he may not even consider the Mariners. That's first and foremost. He has to be open to the idea.
Now, I think the biggest question is, would Jerry give an 8-year contract to a pitcher?
That's 25. Maybe there's a better chance, because he gave Robbie Ray a 5-year contract when he was older. He gave Luis Castillo a 5-year contract being older. If they sign Blake Snell, he's older, like closer to 30. 25 years old. Like, if you're going to give 30-year-olds a 5-year deal, you could give a 25-year-old an 8-year deal.
Yeah, you could. So, but in the end, I don't even know if the Mariners are going to get a chance to pitch him at all. I don't think he's even visiting. So sorry to rain on the parade. We just hyped him up so much, and it's like, yeah. So, well, he's not going to sign here. So just speculation.
You never know. Again, they were linked to Kodai Senga a little bit last year, so maybe there's a small chance, and we're just not expecting it. But I will say the same thing about the international pool of players with Yamamoto here on this episode, is, as I said about Jung-Hoo Lee a couple episodes ago, which is, if the Mariners are going to go spend significant coin for an international player, I think they're waiting until next offseason. I tweeted it out today, here being Monday, just because I was bored, and I was trying to just get something out into the Twitterverse today, and I was just kind of going down a Munetaka Murakami rabbit hole. There we go, on YouTube and on Twitter today. And I remember that home run he hit in the title game of the WBC. I was like, man, that dude is unreal. So I'm speaking this into existence a year in advance. The Mariners are going to wait. Gino will be gone after 2024. We don't know what's going to happen with Ty France, so they'll have some corner infield spots open and say, oh yeah, Murakami, yeah, we'll go pay him. He can have $200 million.
200. You think he can get more than that?
Oh, I mean, it's possible.
As a position player?
Do you think he can get more than that?
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, he is like, where's the hole in his game?
I don't think he's a great defender, but again, as a hitter, like, I don't know. There might not be one.
Maybe as not a proven commodity, you don't get 300 million, but 200, I think that's where that one starts. He's good. And when you play every day, it's that much more valuable.